For one of the most natural, comfortable and efficient ways to heat a home, choose a radiant heating system from Eswa. Developed over 60 years ago to suit the colder conditions of Scandinavia, Eswa heating systems are now widely available in New Zealand and Australia. Eswa utilises the natural effect of radiant heat in much the same way as the sun's rays heat the earth. Heating elements inside the floors and ceilings heat up these solid surfaces and in turn warm the surrounding atmosphere. An Eswa radiant heating system provides a safe, clean and healthy environment with no drafts, noise or hotspots. And because Eswa heating systems are hidden in the floors or ceilings, they require no maintenance and free the home from cumbersome heating appliances. An Eswa radiant heating system is also one of the most cost-effective ways to heat a home compared to most gas or heat pump systems. And this simply brilliant heating system is also simple to install. Over the next few minutes, you'll see just how easy it really is to install the comfort, convenience and value of an Eswa radiant heating system. Eswa Inslab heating is the natural choice for warming, storing and distributing heat more evenly and cost-effectively across large floor surfaces. Eswa Inslab heating uses a durable heating element embedded in the concrete slab of your home at the time of building. Key benefits of Eswa Inslab heating systems are completely hidden with no moving parts, clean and draft free, no concentrated heat source, noise and pollution free, no lost floor or room space, efficient and maintenance free, easy installation, no exposed flames or heating elements, no plugs, cables or exposed switches, very low running costs including off-peak power storage systems, and a 10-year manufacturer's warranty. To install an Eswa Inslab heating system, you'll need the following things: a detailed floor plan, electrical testing equipment, tape measure, dazzle, cable ties, flexible conduit, solid conduit, insulation tape, pliers and cutters, Eswa selection charts, and the appropriate Eswa Inslab heating cable for the job. The first step in preparing your Eswa Inslab installation is to establish the correct type and amount of Inslab cable you'll need. Measure the area you'll be working in first and check it against the floor plans. Make sure that you take into account any fixtures that are to be installed, as the cable must be laid around these fixtures, never underneath them. To work out the heating loads required for each room is as simple as referring to one of Eswa's charts or design sheets. Heating loads are already pre-calculated, with the appropriate product selections noted as well. It's as simple as one quick look to establish what you need to make the right product selection. The main component of the Eswa Inslab heating system is the heating cable, which is equipped with a cold lead at each end. There are a total of 14 product size options, each with an area load of 140 to 160 watts per square metre, and custom designs can also be made to suit special applications. Once you've made your selection from the design sheet, cross-check it with the product to make sure you have the right match. Look at labels, cables and boxes to ensure you have the right type of Eswa heating cable against the charted selection. It would be a good idea to check the product before going further to confirm that the product conforms to the supplied test sheet. Testing for insulation resistance and continuity with a Mega is a vital process that must be done both before and after installation. It's also very important to note that the testing certificate supplied with each product must be checked off and used each time you test in order to qualify for the 10-year warranty. In order to maximise efficiencies and running costs from an Eswa Inslab system, it's recommended to use 40 to 50 mm polystyrene thermal insulation to suit site conditions. This insulation must be placed above the damp-proof course. A little forethought and planning at this stage will help everything else go smoothly. All internal walls and fixed furniture are to be marked out. Cables are not to be placed under these areas. Check the floor plans again and identify in each room where the termination point is, and mark it out, noting that this is where both your start and end cold tails will meet. Choose the closest practical point to the switchboard. The next step is to run the Eswa cable out first to get it to roughly fit the area. This will give you a feel for how much cable is required to give even coverage and to fit the room before you begin fixing things down. Keep in mind that the cable spacing is designed to suit a typical mesh spacing of 150 to 200 mm, and to achieve this, you may need to vary the offset from the outside walls. No product should extend to different areas unless part of the same zone. Next, start loosely tying down the cable to the reinforcing mesh, beginning with cold tails. Make sure that you only use plastic ties or plastic-coated tie wire to avoid the possibility of galvanic action with the cables. As you tie the cables down, ensure that they are fixed at the appropriate spacing. Again, most mesh should typically be 150 to 200 mm spacing, and the cable spacing is designed to suit these specifications. If the mesh spacing exceeds 200 mm, contact Eswa for advice. When tying down, also ensure that cables are placed no closer than 200 mm from where walls, units and fixed furniture will be. Pay particular attention to tying the radiuses down. When positioning the cold tails, ensure that the joints will be approximately 300 mm from the exit point and completely covered by concrete once laid. It's important that the actual cold tail joint does not enter the flexible conduit. All PVC cable must be fully inside. Also be careful that the cold tails don't ever get closer than 50 mm to each other. Finally, ensure that the flexible conduit is positioned properly for a smooth transition from embedded cable to termination point. With an Eswa Inslab heating system, slab sensing thermostats are recommended, and each heating zone requires a sensor tube for the sensor to be housed within. Select a 20 mm PVC conduit, 300 mm high and 600 mm long, with a large radius bend for flexibility to thread the sensor through. Position this tube at the same place as the flexible conduit for the cold tail. Most importantly, please note the ideal position for the sensor tube is 15 to 20 mm below the poured in-slab surface, not below the mesh. The tube should only be placed parallel between two runs of cable to allow correct monitoring by the sensor. The wire mesh itself must be located in the centre of the slab. This is achieved by placing chairs underneath the mesh that create an even separation between where the top and the bottom of the poured slab will be. Once all of the chairs are in position, the installation is ready to be tested prior to the concrete being poured. While the cables are being embedded with the concrete pour, they are at the most risk of being damaged through lack of care or by accident. Reasonable care should be taken during the concrete pour to avoid damage to the heating cable. Cables can be monitored whilst the concrete is being poured. However, this isn't always practical. They must always be tested again after the pour is complete. Use a mega and multimeter for insulation resistance, continuity and total resistance tests after the pour, and be sure to record on the test certificate. These final tests are necessary for certificate sign-off and warranty requirements. Once the house is completed, commissioning of the Eswa Inslab heating system must be done gradually. This will reduce the stress caused to the concrete slab during the drying out process. On no account should the system ever be turned on to dry out the concrete itself. Work the temperature up over a period of weeks until reaching the optimal typical setting of between 26 and 28 degrees Celsius. This will give a desired room temperature of approximately 20 to 22 degrees Celsius. Please also refer to detailed commissioning instructions supplied. Electrical and control requirements for the Eswa Inslab heating system feature a range of relays, thermostats and sensors for various installation situations. Check the Eswa Inslab heating written instructions for details of components and recommendations for best results. Of particular note with electrical and control requirements is the strong recommendation to use a surge arrestor. Your warranty is dependent on the use of this surge arrestor. This will limit all transient overvoltages or power spikes caused by such things as lightning, induction, earth faults and other freak currents that may run through the ground. Finally, be aware of all safety and connection warnings. While installation can be carried out by any competent person, the actual electrical connections should be carried out by an electrician and comply with current wiring regulations. Conductor continuity and resistance, as well as insulation resistance testing, is to be measured in accordance with the warranty form and noted both before and after laying. Congratulations! You now know how easy and efficient it is to install an Eswa Inslab heating system. Ensure that you also read the easy step installation instructions, and if you still have any queries, call your Eswa supplier before proceeding.